Hi guys, welcome to my cooking corner. Today we're gonna make cinnamon rolls. We're gonna start with dough, and I'm gonna show you all how to do that. While that's rising, we're gonna make the filling, and then I'll show you step by step what we're gonna do. So first we're gonna start with milk. I already warmed it up. So you want it between 100 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit, if you can see milk. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your milk and you need melted butter for this. So I've had butter sitting out for a few days, but then I melted it right now. So you're going to combine your milk, your melted butter, and a half a cup of sugar. And then after we whisk that together, we're going to put a yeast packet. And then we're just gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. There's my half cup sugar. Gonna whisk it all together. So it's gonna almost look like egg yolk, like an egg yolky thing. And while you're doing that, it should be all whisked together nice and pretty. You're gonna add a whole packet of active dry yeast. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top, stir, and then I'm gonna just set it for about 10 minutes until all the yeast has bloomed. And I'll show you what that looks like in about 10 minutes. Okay guys, so it's been 10 minutes. It has bloomed. If you can see, there's like bubbles. For those that don't know what that means. Because I don't know, but it looks bubbly. Next, we're just going to add 4 cups of flour to this mixture. And then you just mix it all up until it's combined. What I'm going to use is the mixer, but it says you can use a wooden spoon if you don't have a mixer. And I've done it that way before, and it turns out just as good. But I'm going to be late. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna kind of do a little pre-mix with the spoon, get it all spread out a little, and then I'm just gonna stick it right into the mixer. Let the mixer do the job. So after that's been all combined, it's gonna look pretty much like dough. Nothing really out of the ordinary for that much. I just try to get it all off. That way I can make as many cinnamon rolls as possible. And then all I'm gonna do is make sure all the flour is good. And it was. And now we're just gonna cover it with plastic and let it sit for an hour in a warm spot. So it's gonna rise, hopefully double in size. Okay guys, so it's been almost an hour. Well, about an hour. And the dough is rising. When it's almost done, you're gonna start making the filling. It needs a stick and a half of softened butter, not melted. So this is butter that I took out like 2 days ago for this. This is one of the wrappers that I keep, and I use it to butter the pan. So it's a stick and a half of butter, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I could probably have used a bigger bowl, but we'll find out. 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. So 1, 2. And we're just gonna mix that all up, and it's gonna create like a nice filling, like you know what you expect in a cinnamon roll. You want it like a good texture where you can spread it out easy. So that's why you want the butter to be softened. And it just all blends together. It's gonna like blend together into like a frosting dirt like mixture. Okay, so after it's all blended, it's gonna look like this. Looks good. Tastes like butter, like this. So next we're gonna finish the dough. We're gonna roll it out on a clean surface, so I have to wipe this down. Okay guys, so now that the icing or filling has been made, we are going to remove the plastic. So it's doubled in size. It smells good. And so we're gonna finish it with 1 cup of flour. We're just gonna throw it right on top. One cup of flour. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, so now we're just gonna mix this all together. It's gonna start to unstick from the bowl, which is what we want. So now we're just gonna start to turn it onto the counter. That way we can roll it and flatten it out and make it ready for the cinnamon roll. So I'm just gonna dump it all out. Try to get all that. We're just going to knead the dough for about 10 minutes. Okay guys, so I kneaded it basically until it's not sticky anymore, and it looks like a piece of dough. So if you poke it, it pokes right back, like the dough springs back at you, so you're not just breaking the air bubbles. I'm not totally sure. But after you knead it, you're gonna want to roll the dough into a large rectangle. So you're gonna want it to have sharp corners because you need to roll it. And so trying to spread it out a little. And then we're just gonna roll this bad boy out. And you're gonna roll it until it's like a 1/2 inch thick. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. Sharpest corners. And then this is when we are going to spread the filling all over the dough. I'm going to do a quick little, and you want to go edge from edge because you don't want to spot without filling. So you can choose how thick you want it, like basically how much cinnamon, sugar, butter mixture you want in each bite. I try to make it pretty even throughout. Corners. Okay, so once you finish that, we're just gonna roll it into a log and then pinch the seams. So I'm gonna roll away from you. I'm just gonna roll. Roll. And try to keep it even. So then you're just gonna have a nice log like this. So it's just pinch the seams. So I'm just gonna pinch it. Just gonna make it so it's not as thick of a difference. And you're kind of sealing in. You can see the roll. And then you use unflavored floss to cut it, because I don't think you would want mint. So I have floss right here. But let me get the pans, that way we can put them in. Okay, so I have the pans. You do want them to be nice and buttered, so that's why I keep these wrappers. I just use them to butter it, because it spreads on nice and easy. And you're recycling. And then I have another wrapper. Now that these are all nice and buttered, we're going to use the floss to slice the cinnamon rolls. And we're going to do it at about a 1/4 inch thick. And we want to try to have 1 1/4 inch, 1.5, sorry, inches thick. So the first cut, what I do is pull it and just use the floss, pull it apart like that. There, my first cinnamon roll. And I place it in. Go for the next one. 1.5 thick. That one tried to come out a little. And so when it tries to jump out a little, just when you lay it back down, you have like the option to make it stay. Sorry. Okay. cinnamon all on my hand. Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna cover with a towel, so like so, and we're gonna have it sit here for about 35 to 45 minutes, just so it rises, and then we are gonna place in the oven. We'll be right back. Okay guys, so it's been about 35 minutes. They've rose up, so now we're just gonna bake it in the oven. So the oven's preheated 350. We're gonna bake it for about 25 to 35 minutes. So it's that golden brown on top. Just pulled the cinnamon rolls out the oven. This is what they're supposed to look like. So if you guys try this at home, let me know how it goes. Leave a comment, and I will also leave a recipe for the icing down in the comments. That way you can add it yourself. Have a good night. Hey guys, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe because Granny said so.